أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, inshallah ta'ala, everyone's doing well. It's a great blessing, first and foremost, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the breath, give us the life to see this 27th night. Obviously, we know that there is multiple hadith that strongly point to the 27th night, strong probability of being at Laylatul Qadr, right? Obviously, we know we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket, as they say. So obviously, you're going to come back on the 29th night, inshallah ta'ala, right? And we're going to keep on pushing through to the end of this month, inshallah ta'ala. And here we all know from Surah Qadr, small surah that we all has memorized. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the angels and the ruh, talking about angel Gabriel alayhi salam, all comes down on this night. And there's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam that mentions that the angels that come down on the earth are more in number than the grains of sand on the ground. Right? Forget about all the deserts in the world. If you just go to the grains of sand in the parking lot probably here, how much grains of sand is that? Yani, like billions probably. And there's so many malaika, yani so much angels are coming down here. And what are they doing? Eating and samosas in the back or something? No. They're here, what? It's the same blessings on those individuals. And if you go to the hadith, go to Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah, in his tafsir on this ayah, he mentions that where are the angels ascending to? It says, Ahlul Masajid. The people of the masajid, people of the masjid. Those individuals are in the masjid, right? So alhamdulillah, you're the lucky ones here. He didn't say Ahlul parking lot, so there's not the people in the parking lot. So alhamdulillah, at least you guys made it here in the parking, not in the parking lot, but at least in the masjid, alhamdulillah. I just noticed there was a lot of people in the parking lot when I was walking in. So alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose you, right? That's great. So alhamdulillah, this is awesome. Now one thing that we're all here for is to do what? Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But everyone, me and you here, are seeking something. And what is that? Forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? This is the month of Rahmah, of course it's the month of the Quran. We're all hoping for this great reward. And with Rahmah, yani, we're trying to get Jannah, if you will. So might as well make sure that we take the right steps to getting that, right? And that is of the utmost importance, if you will. So how do we make sure that we are going to get Jannah, inshallah, we're going to get forgiveness? And there's a very interesting hadith that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, that's mentioned in Ibn Habban and Tabaraani and others, hadith collections. Well, one time the Prophet ﷺ, he was going up to make a sermon, to give a khutbah. Like how we have the pulpit here, we have the membar here. And as the Prophet ﷺ was walking up to the membar, he said ameen 3 times out loud. And the Sahaba, obviously, they're very attentive, right? They want to look at him and see what is he doing, so they could follow it. So they said after the khutbah, after the sermon, they came up to the Prophet ﷺ and they said, you know what, you did something that you never did before. You said ameen 3 times and then you started the khutbah, yani. Then you walked up and then you started giving the sermon. What was that all about? So the Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Gabriel atani, faqal, man adraka shahra Ramadan, فلم يغفر له فدخل النار وأبعثه الله فقلت آمين فقلت آمين. So the Prophet ﷺ said that Gabriel alayhi salam came to me when I was going up the membar, and he told me 3 things, and I said ameen to each one of these as a dua. And one of the things that Gabriel alayhi salam said to the Prophet ﷺ is said that whoever reaches the month of Ramadan, me and you, and is not forgiven in this month, then he will enter the hellfire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will push him far away. And then Jibril told the Prophet ﷺ, you say ameen. And the Prophet said ameen. And we all know that when the Prophet ﷺ says ameen to a dua, what does that mean? Khalas, yani. That dua is accepted, right? There's no ifs and buts, that's done. That's a done case. That whoever sees this month of Ramadan and is not forgiven in it, that they will enter hellfire. And you might say, what is that about? How about if someone makes hajj outside the month of Ramadan? How about someone gives sadaqah outside the month of Ramadan? How about someone does this and that, X and Y and Z? The thing, brothers and sisters, there's so many good deeds we could do in this month. From salah, from sadaqat, from providing people for food for iftar, right? To always reading Quran, getting up at nighttime and praying. That if you cannot get forgiveness in this month, there must be something seriously wrong with you. You're probably at home sleeping. You probably didn't come to the masjid, right? That might be one thing. But there must be some other issues, if you will. And that's what I want to get to. Because we're here on the 27th night hoping for some great things to happen to us, right? So we have to make sure that we fulfill certain prerequisites. And maybe no one told you about these prerequisites. So guess what? I'm here to tell you about that, inshallah ta'ala, right? To make sure we get certain prerequisites done so we get the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, we go to Surah Shu'ara, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says a very, very interesting ayah. An ayah to the point where it revolutionized my life when I really pondered on it. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the day of judgment. Where he says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالُ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهُ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that on the day of judgment, your money and your children will not benefit you. And people love to brag about their money, right? You gotta check out my car, check out my rims on it. Look at my house, I got new granite tops on my kitchen, right? I got this, I got a new 60-inch TV. You could fit yourself in there, right? 4K of the 8K TVs coming out now. Everyone loves to talk about their money. And money, what happens, gives you pride. You start thinking that you're better than other individuals, right? That's natural, that's just the way humans work. And what? Your family. You ever see the family where have all the kids? This one's a doctor, this one's a pharmacist, this one's this one, this one. And like the parents, they love to talk about their kids, which is good. They have a right to do that. Every parent loves doing that. But people get, they take pride in that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, guess what? Your money and your children will not benefit you on this day, the day of judgment, except what? Man atallahu biqalbin salim. Whoever comes on that day with a heart that is salim. Right? What do you mean a heart that's salim? The word salama, yani pure, sound, tranquil heart. There's no hatred in it. Right? The scholars have identified what is a heart that is sound. It doesn't have the spiritual diseases of the heart. What are the spiritual diseases? No hatred in it, no envy, no jealousy, right? No anger. This is the heart that is salim. So it makes sense that me and you, that we want to make sure in this 27th night and this month of Ramadan, that we make sure our heart is what? Salim. So we go in our grave, that we're what? Making sure that it's sound. And one thing I want to talk about that inshallah ta'ala we could work on tonight, especially when we're trying to get forgiveness, is one of the things that scholars have talked about, one of the diseases of the heart, is a thing called bughd in Arabic. It's even a hard word to pronounce. And what does bughd in Arabic mean? It means hatred, right? Sometimes people have hatred in the heart. Because you know what, in this world, I think everyone here has a story. If you live long enough in this world, someone's going to do something wrong to you. Someone's going to say something about your wife you're not going to like. Someone's going to probably take your inheritance from your family, which you're probably not going to enjoy. Someone's going to say something about your kids. Someone in the masjid might make a comment about you. Your coworker is going to say something about you. It's almost bound to happen. And what happens, we have this anger and hatred for certain individuals. All right, people do some really, really bad things to people. And this hatred sits in our heart right here. And guess what? We're praying every night with this in our heart. My uncle, I don't talk to him because he did this to my dad, so therefore I grew up not talking to my uncle. I don't talk to my brother anymore because he did this to my mom, he left the house and he made this thing during my wedding and almost ruined my marriage. So we don't talk to that brother anymore. My cousin, my auntie, this brother in the masjid, I don't see him. I pray over here, he prays over there. People go to family weddings and they sit at the table and they wait for the other guy to get his food, and when he sits down, then they go get their food. Why? Because they don't want to meet each other. Because what? They have anger, they have issues with each other. People pray Eid prayer. Same family, but they don't say salams to each other, no Eid Mubarak. One goes home the other way, one goes home the other way. And they make sure they don't pray in the same location sometime. People are funny people, man. People do all type of things. And then you see them in the masjid praying as if they're the most holiest people in the world. Right? That they're going to Jannah. Right? Allah forgive me, but I don't forgive. Allah, you forgive me. This is an issue we want to talk about. You know, it's very interesting because everyone, I think, had their story. And some of you are probably saying, Shahid, that sounds all great, but you don't know what my uncle did to me. I have a different story, you know. I have a special exception here, right? And it wasn't some guy just pushed me in the masjid or something, but this person did this to me, this person did that. Believe me, I heard all the stories. I have family that call police on family. I know people, family that beat other family. Like stuff I don't want to say because it'll bring the morale down in the masjid. Right? But there's all type of stuff that you hear. But nobody did a really worse thing that happened to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, one thing is that we're supposed to love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam the most, right? There's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that says that what? You will not become a true believer until I am more beloved to you than your own what? Your own parents. Like you have to have this love for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there's reason for that. So you follow him, you respect him. There's multiple things for that. But there was an incident where we all know the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. He had multiple wives, but we know the one that he loved very much. And that was who? Aisha radiallahu anha. Right? Aisha radiallahu anha, the Prophet ﷺ had a special love for her. And the other wives knew that too. Right? And so one time, there was an incident where there was an accusation against her. Where someone started spreading rumors that she did fornication. And that's really nasty, right? Imagine if somebody in the masjid would spread a rumor about your wife that she did X, Y, and Z with someone else. What would you do? You'd probably knock that guy out, right? You will say, can we excommunicate him from the masjid? You will be super mad, right? That's a serious accusation. That's slander. Nobody wants any of that. Or do that to your mother. Or some people don't have issues with their wives, so let me do another example, right? Someone did that to your mother, right? How would you feel? And you go crazy on that person. So here this accusation was made for Aisha radiallahu anha. Terrible thing. What are these people thinking about? And these are Sahaba. These are companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And one of them was a cousin of, or the nephew I should say, or the cousin, I'm forgetting now, of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. His name was Mistah. And he was going around and he was spreading this rumor. And so Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he found out about this. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was the one that used to give him allowance, financial support. Yani. So he used to get financial support from him. So when this happened, Abu Bakr did what? He's like, forget about this. I'm keeping my money. You're not taking my money anymore. I know what you're doing. You're spreading the rumor against the Prophet's wife. And we know that Aisha radiallahu anha is what? Also the daughter of Abu Bakr radiallahu anha. So it's a very strong relationship between Abu Bakr and who? Aisha radiallahu anha. And so he said, you know what? I'm keeping my money away from this guy. Because you're spreading the rumor about the Prophet's wife and my daughter. Forget about you. You ain't get no money. And there's anyone who has more of a right to have anger and hate for somebody, it would be who? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. But what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala address Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu if you go to the Quran? Now we go to Surah Nur, chapter number 24 in the Quran, verse number 22, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses this situation. And what do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what did he say about Abu Bakr? Abu Bakr, you're right. That's true. Make that person learn his lesson so he could keep his mouth shut next time. Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say that? So we go to the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَّا تُيُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. This ayah revolution in my life, inshallah, will have the same impact on you tonight, inshallah ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses that situation when he says, tell the believers, it's a general lesson to me and you, tell the believers that they should pardon and they should forgive. What do they want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to what? Forgive them. Tell the believers to pardon and to forgive. Wouldn't they want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do what? Forgive them. It sounds like what? This is what you call a conditional statement. If I tell all of you here, if you guys show up to my house tomorrow, I'll give each one of you guys $50. If you guys show up to my house tomorrow, I'll give you guys $50. This is just an example. It's not true. Don't come to my house tomorrow. Okay? I won't give out my address anyhow. But it is called a conditional statement. It means that if you don't come to my house tomorrow, should you expect $50? Should you expect it? No. But if you do come, then what? Should you expect $50? Yeah. I have to fulfill my promises, right? So here is that what? It's a conditional statement. If you don't ever show up to my house tomorrow, don't think that $50 is ever going to come your way. It's not going to come your way. Don't even look in your wallet and look and see if it's in there. It's not going to come your way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here, brothers and sisters, if you want forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to do what? You have to forgive. You have to forgive. If you want forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to learn to forgive. Or else don't expect what? Forgiveness. Don't show up on Yawm al-Qiyamah and say, oh Allah, please forgive me. I made so much du'as in Ramadan. Allah's going to say, what? Did you forgive in this world? No, because my uncle did this and this brother did this to me. No, I didn't. But anyhow, Allah, can you forgive me? Don't expect that, guys, right? If one of the uncles here, for example, or somebody here who doesn't ever play basketball, let me give you an example, never plays basketball ever in their life, has no love for basketball, and I buy him for Eid a basketball, what do you think he's going to do with that? What the heck you buy me a basketball for? I don't know how to play basketball. I'm going to give this to one of the kids. I'm going to sell it on eBay or something. I have no use for this because I don't play basketball. I don't even know what to do with this. So the point is that, guess what? If you don't forgive and you show up on Yawm al-Qiyamah and Allah gives you forgiveness, you wouldn't know what to do with it because you never used to forgive yourself. So if forgiveness would come your way, you wouldn't even know what to do with it because you were never part of the category of people that used to do what? Forgive. So don't expect that. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet said in hadith, Ar-Rahimuna, yarham ar-Rahman, irhamu ma fil ard, yarhamhu man fis sama. The Prophet says that those who forgive, Ar-Rahimun, those who forgive, let them, Ar-Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them. Forgive the ones on this earth, and the one in the sky will forgive you. Who's that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does that sound like a conditional statement once again? Sounds like a conditional statement to me. That means that if you need to practice this, this is the only way that your brother and sister you're going to be forgiven. Now let me make it a little bit more intense now because I don't think you guys got the picture yet. This is the 27th night, so we have to turn up the notch a little bit more, right? And the air conditioning, inshallah ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ mentions that تُعْرِضُ الْأَعْمَالِ كُلَّ اثْنَيْنِ وَخَمِيسٍ, that every Monday and every Thursday, me and you, our deeds go up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you never knew this before, guess what? Now you know. Every Monday and every Thursday, our deeds go up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ mentions after this that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yaghfir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive everybody that doesn't associate partners with him. Illa imra'an. Except, we don't like exceptions, but guess what? I'm going to give you exceptions. Sorry about that. Allah will forgive everybody that doesn't associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think all of us in this room, inshallah, we're part of that category. Except a person, who's this person? That baynahu wa bayna akhihi shahna, that between him and his brother is rancor and anger. Yani they have mushkilat, yani. They have problems. They have arguments. They don't talk to each other. And what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to say? Itraku hadaini hatta yastalaha. Leave those two people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells to the angels when they come up with the deeds of that person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell the angels, hey, leave those deeds right there. We're not going to accept those deeds right now. Keep them right there floating in the sky. Until those two people, yastalaha, yani sulh, they make amends with each other. That it's possible that a person prays every day in this month of Ramadan and fasts every day in this month of Ramadan and reading Quran and making dua and crying on the 27th night, and him and his brother, him and his auntie, him and his cousin, him and his uncle, him and the brother over there, they don't talk because of what happened 10 years ago at this one wedding and one family gathering, what happened 2 months ago, what happened 20 years ago. People don't talk. And guess what? That same brother that's sitting here and that same sister that's standing up for salah, oh Allah forgive me, oh Allah forgive me, oh Allah bless me, make me of those of Jannah. Oh yes, Sahib, keep on saying the dua, I love it, I feel so good. And guess what, brothers and sisters, that person's deed is not going anywhere. It's just chilling in the air like that. Why? Because they don't forgive. And notice, one of the saddest thing is, some people will go in their grave in that state. And it's done, right? What do we say about the ayah? If you guys remember the ayah, what I said, right? Man ata Allahu bi qalbin salim. That person died with hating his uncle. So he gets resurrected with that what? That same what? Hate in his heart. You think he's going to go to Jannah and see his uncle? Hey, what are you doing here? Did you pay back my money to my dad? You never did. What the hell? How did you make it to Jannah? You think people are going to be arguing in Jannah? No. They're not going to be arguing in Jannah. That's Jahannam you're talking about, not Jannah. You can't be going in Jannah and seeing people and arguing with them. What are you doing here? How did you even make it here? That's not Jannah, brothers and sisters. That's why the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says those who enter Jannah will have a qalb that's salim. That is pure, sound. They don't have hatred. Why? Because they took care of that hatred in this world before they went into the grave. This opportunity for you brothers, me and myself and all of you here, is to think about that. as we stop here and we're about to pray Salatul Tasbih, we're about to read Quran, we're about to fast tomorrow, Eid's coming up, and we think we're the best Muslims ever in the world. And guess what, maybe we need to analyze ourselves. And believe me, these nights in the month of Ramadan, there's a reason why we're talking at 1:30 at night or 12:30 at night. Why? Because these are the nights where you sit down and you start pondering on yourself. And you do some introspection on your own self. And hopefully that you hear something from the speaker that wakes you up. These are the moments we're all waiting for. I'm waiting for these moments myself. This is what makes Ramadan special. How are we going to solve this, brothers and sisters? There's a couple ways. If there's anyone that ever done anything wrong with you, the scholars have said, to get this hatred out of your heart, the number one thing you can do, especially tonight, is when you make dua, your own personal dua. When you raise your hand. And we know everyone here in this room has a special dua list, right? You have your mom, oh Allah, forgive my mom, forgive my spouse, forgive my child, forgive my uncle. Everyone has that special list, right? Where they name off certain people. The scholars say, you know what? Add that person that did wrong to you to that list. Don't say, Allah, forgive all the Muslims, I meant him. No, that doesn't work. Mention him by name. Oh Allah, forgive my mom, forgive my dad, and forgive Hamza, that, we have some issues between us, but Allah bless him, forgive him, and grant him Jannah. Ameen. If you're able to say that with your tongue, then you're teaching your heart to get that anger out. It's tough to make a dua like that, believe me. It's super tough to do that. But if you could do that, now you're washing your heart. Not your cardiovascular health I'm talking about here. What? Your spiritual heart. You do that. Second step that we have, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that there is anger between two people, that they have 3 days to cool off. Alhamdulillah, the Prophet knew that, people, they don't forgive easily. Some people, they take a couple days, some people take a couple weeks, right? Some people forgive easily, some people, they take a long time. They give you that silent treatment for a long time. But the Prophet said, you have 3 days to cool off. And after 3 days, فَلْيَلْقَاهُ, that they should meet together. And what they should do, that one person, when they see that other brother that they have issues with, when they see that uncle, when they see that auntie, they should do what? Hit him? No, of course not. They should say what? Salaamu Alaikum. Simple Salaamu Alaikum. And the Prophet says that the other person says what? Reply back and say what? Wa Alaikum Salam. And if they answer back to each other, then their sins are forgiven and they will ishtaraqa fil ajr, that they will get the reward. But if the person doesn't reply back to the salams, then the one who initiated is free of any sin, and the one who didn't reply back bears the burden of the sins of the one who initiated the salams. I should make you think a little bit now, right? And this is something that's serious here. Then, alhamdulillah, your deeds go up now. Because now you're done, you did your job. Alhamdulillah. That person has to fix himself now. Now, alhamdulillah, every Monday and Thursday, inshallah, your deeds are free to go now, alhamdulillah. You got yourself out of that situation. And brothers, alhamdulillah, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you so many means of communication now. You don't even have to see that person face to face now. You could WhatsApp them. You could Facebook message them. You could text them. You could call them. But you have to make sure you do this, inshallah ta'ala. And this is on us now. Everyone has this job to do, inshallah ta'ala. And believe me, don't expect that person to pick up that phone call. Don't expect that person to text you back and say, oh, I've been waiting for your call for so long. Don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, alhamdulillah. I know people have been trying to call their own relatives and their own blood relatives for years now. And say, Shahid, I understand what you told me. It hit me hard, I understand. I've been trying to call this person, and I was trying to text message them. I left voicemails, but I saw them, I said, Assalamu alaikum to them. They don't say anything back to me. I said, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You did your job. Just do it with ihsan, yani. Just keep on doing it. Don't worry. Every other month, whatever, you keep on replying. You keep on trying. That's your job. If they don't reply back, you did your job, alhamdulillah. Right? And this is, inshallah ta'ala, what we all face, inshallah ta'ala. As we're sitting here on the 27th night, all hoping for forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we want to make sure that we have this qalb as-salim. That we're asking for forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but ourselves, that we forgive. Right? So this is something, inshallah ta'ala, that we need to ponder on, right, in these hours of this midnight here, especially on this beautiful night, 27th night, to make sure we're in the category of those who forgive. So on Yawm al-Qiyamah, what? That we will gain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's maghfirah, His forgiveness. And brothers, if you're still sitting there, thinking that I don't know if I should give, I don't know what I should do, this guy did so wrong to me, I don't know what else more to tell you. I really don't know. I really don't know what to say. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, there's some hearts are hard like rock. Try to squeeze it, no water comes from it. Right? This is what we're sitting here. We're trying to have that soft heart. We're trying to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Inshallah ta'ala, we could be like this people, like how the Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed Abu Bakr and say, you know, still forgive that person, even though he spread lies about the Prophet's wife. And he was so ordered to forgive and give him money still. Right? So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us those who forgive. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us on Yawm al-Qiyamah, to make us of the Rahimun, Ya Kareem, Ya Rabbil Alameen, to bless our families and bless our relatives and make us of those who have rahmah amongst each other. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر لكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. Jazakallah khair. If it's anything good from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if anything wrong is from myself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.